welcome to Pulling Shots.
Pulling shots, baby. Come on, bring it on.
I'm Sam.
I'm Gary.
Yeah. And today we just got some good news. After a crazy year, Ethiopia has a record high. Is it plants? I mean, their production. It looks like the government put in some mandates, and just a few things came together, and Ethiopia is just gonna have a record year.
Yeah, well, they are making things easier. Ethiopia is a tough country. You know, I was there, a couple decades ago, and it's, back then they were just coming out of the AIDS epidemic, and their economy was minimal. I think when I was there were only 1,500 internet sites in the country.
Yeah.
It's like living in the dark ages. I'd like to get back there because I think the country's changed quite a bit.
Yeah. It's, they call it the birthplace of coffee.
Yeah. It is. I guess, as the rumor goes, a lot of people know that coffee was first discovered in Ethiopia, and then it started, it went across the Red Sea, and then it started producing coffee in Yemen. And Yemen mocha java is the world's first blend of coffee, actually.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I did not know that. Yeah. Yemen. I don't even know if we get Yemen coffee.
Yeah, it's expensive. Harvest is fairly limited, and getting any product out of some of those countries is very difficult. A lot of politics.
Mm-hmm. There was a couple articles we found on this. I think it was bigger. I saw it one time, just flash across, and then I looked it up, and there was just half a dozen articles talking about it, giving their own take on it.
Well, it is big. Their harvest. Their harvest is increased by maybe 8%, which is actually huge for Ethiopia. They're not a small producer either. In contrast to like Brazil, they're small, but they are a large producer of some of the finest coffee in the world.
Yeah.
I remember when I was cupping coffee in Costa Rica, they had never cupped Ethiopian coffee before except for a summit they had recently been to. And they said they were so used to cupping Central American coffees when they paired them beside Ethiopian coffees, just the brightness of an Ethiopian just outstood, the Central Americas.
Yeah. Some of the best coffees I've ever had have come out of Ethiopia.
I would agree. So I would agree.
It just, I don't know. It just, I try to not to think like it's the name, because if I have an Ethiopian coffee, I'm going to think it's going to be good. But just non-objectively, it is probably the best coffees I've ever had.
Yeah, consistently good. And you have the different regions, the Harrar region, which is the largest producing region, and then you have the Sidamo region, and then you have inside the Sidamo region you have a region called Yirgacheffe, which it could be arguably some of the better coffees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from us, I feel like I recognize a Yirgacheffe.
We bring in mostly Yirgacheffes here.
Yeah. But yeah, what stood out the most to you about the articles?
Oh, I think it's good because anytime you can promote East African countries and East African coffees, it's a good thing. And I'm not sure all the supply chain issues that they've had to overcome to bring their coffee to, a global market, which they've done, is just outstanding.
Yeah.
And to have an increase of such, you hear it around the world.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to affect. It'll be interesting to see how it affects us.
Yeah, it will be. Because this is good news. I think everyone's just waiting for good news after this year. There's been tariffs on different coffees, up to 50% in Brazil. And there's been it started with the C-market kind of just going crazy.
And I don't know that the C-market's going to come down a whole lot. It might, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The commodity market, where coffees trade at more of an institutional level, but then everything Like we buy specialty coffees. Say, today the commodity market was trading at three. I think it closed at 372 today.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's come down some, but it hasn't come down to where it was even this summer. It was lower.
Well, it's such a huge market. You don't expect that, but like when there's a couple cent changes was this typical. Now it'll fluctuate 30 cents in a day.
Yeah, that's scary to
30
watch.
cents per pound. So I mean that's 10% increase out of nowhere.
You're exactly right.
So it's
I know we're buying coffee. I just placed an order in to New York today, and we bought. Coffee went down. It hit 374 last week, so we bought 150 bags, and so now it's at 372. So it could have saved a couple cents a pound if we bought today.
Yeah, but that would have been cutting it close.
I know, because it went up to 390 after we bought, so we thought we were feeling pretty good. So
yeah, you can't play the market like that.
Yeah, well, we try.
But like I need to order it this day. I hope it drops.
I know.
Instead of goes up 20
We
cents.
just have to buy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we buy it bad, and we'd have to absorb the price. Sometimes we buy it good, so we make a little money back.
Yeah. How do you think this affects the global market? Like, are there ripple effects of this?
Ripple's a good word.
Yeah.
You put it into perspective. Ethiopia's harvest, I've heard estimates anywhere from 8 million to 11 million bags this year. This is like a 7.8% increase maybe over last year. But then you look at Brazil, and you see Brazil at their production is going to be at 63 million bags this year.
Yeah.
So, and that's down. That's down 2 million bags from last year. So it's kind of like what happens. It's like Brazil. What happens in Brazil? It's like Brazil sneezes, and the rest of the coffee industry gets a cold.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So we have the Ethiopian crop we watch, but it's the Brazil crop that pretty much dials in what the rest of the world is going to feel, and that gets passed down from the farmer to the importer to the roaster to the retailer and to the end user. So it's I don't really think about it that way. I mean, Ethiopia's big, but it's compared to Brazil, they just kind of dictate the whole market. Yeah. And I think it's caught a lot of extra traction, the Ethiopian announcement, just simply because it's such a big thing for that country to perform what they've done. But that ripple, I don't know that ripple will come across the ocean. Yeah.
But they did too. I mean, they did a couple mandates, and they planted a couple trees.
Yeah.
I think there were some government enactments trying to really just promote it seemed like short-term and long-term sustainability and growth.
That, well said. And I think, I'm not sure exactly everything that the Ethiopian government is doing for their people. It is, for the most part, in that area of the world, the government's run a little better than, say, some of the middle of the continent's countries. But, it's still the third world of the third world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look at, for instance, Colombia. So you plant a coffee tree. In about 3 years, you start getting a harvest. And then, about year 5 to 7, it's performing well, it's peak. It might perform for 20 years, but if it's not farmed correctly, that production just goes down a little bit every year. A coffee tree can live 100 years, but it's not producing.
Yeah.
And so I know, like in Colombia, the government will come along and they'll create subsidies for the farmers to replant, because it's all of a sudden the farmer's producing and producing, and it might not be saving or can save appropriately to replant their crop, and the labor intensity of it. It's not planted with machines. It's on the hillside for the most part. It's planted, like you plant your garden.
Yeah, and you plant it, you got to wait 3 years, and now you're producing, and now you can't just say, oh, well, now I better. Yeah. That's what you're working for. You don't want to say, okay, I'm going to cut back production for another 3 years.
Yeah.
I've been working towards this for this long. I don't want to just
I can still
cut back. Yeah. So it's hard to think that long term when you're not even getting any sort of payoff for 3 years.
Yeah, well, it is. In a lot of those countries, especially Ethiopia and, Central and South America are better, but, they're more hand to mouth than we are in the United States. It's hard for us to understand that.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for us to do that, and we aren't quite as in survival mode, I guess, as them. They're a little more, it's hard for me to think 3 years ahead, but in a third world country, how do you even consider that, I guess? So
you're right.
It is impressive that they can accomplish something like this.
Oh, it is. It is.
How might this influence the coffee? So a coffee shop owner, how does this affect a coffee shop owner?
Oh.
Here. In the Midwest.
Good question. You will have an abundant supply of Ethiopian coffees coming from whatever roaster that you're using.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a limited supply.
Yeah. I feel like it just kind of stabilizes that coffee.
It does.
And I think Ethiopia and Colombia seem to be just the names, at least here, in the Midwest, but maybe even across the country, where that's. You see that on the shelf, and you just think that's a good coffee. Just immediately in your head. You see Ethiopia, you just know it's going to be a good coffee.
Yes.
You don't have to, if I see a Nicaragua at or at a grocery store, I'm not really that. I have to really look into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the click in your mind. When you see an Ethiopia, you know it's going to be a good coffee. So, just that predictability is back where you will. It's in the system again a little more than it used to be.
Yeah, well, performance, the performance of the coffee is unique. And I think if, trying to align, they're so opposites, Colombian and Ethiopian, but it's, what Ethiopian has on its side is performance. Mm-hmm. What Colombia has on its side is branding.
Yeah.
Ethiopia, and what Nicaragua doesn't have on its side is branding.
Yeah.
They have great coffees in Nicaragua.
No, they do.
But the branding is not there.
Yeah. Which is funny because I think Nicaragua is one of the most coffees we bring in.
It is.
And we don't sell it as an origin, not because of the quality. We use it in our blends because of the quality.
Yeah.
But we can't sell it as an origin because people just don't understand it.
Yeah.
And you don't, when there's a learning curve, you just want to sell the one that people inherently just want.
Yeah,
teach people.
It's some of the coffees can stand alone. Ethiopia can stand alone. I think Nicaragua falls down on its own.
Yeah.
Unless it's a blend.
Yeah. It's just really interesting, just the branding of, origin coffees. These are countries that we're talking about, and it just. So Ethiopia is. I don't know. For next year, what are you thinking? Is this going to kind of set a precedence of any kind? Or is this kind of capping off a crazy year in the right way?
It is. It's capping off a crazy year in a positive way. Getting this positive news from a country that we cherish their coffees, and hearing that there's an abundance, a 10% increase in their harvest.
Yeah.
It's around 10, whatever it is. It is good. We've had the tariffs, we've had the high commodity market, and everybody's adjusted and adapted. I think it's because we have had so much. There's been so much. Prices have just been all over the board. Mm-hmm. Prices. Gasoline has finally come down. you're not going to get the grocery shelf products. They're not coming down. They're almost 15%, maybe 20% in some arenas, higher than what they were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That's not coming down. That's probably all going to stay there.
Yeah.
Petroleum, it's coming down, which is a great thing for the economy.
Yeah. It is kind of funny how just different things are like on a grade. But coffee, I don't think people really decrease their coffee prices. That's not really expected as where gas or some bigger products can kind of fluctuate a little bit.
Petroleum's the largest trading commodity in the world, so it's obviously a huge industry.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know you can't even gauge that against anything else.
No, you can't. But yeah, it is this. It's Christmas time, and I think if nothing else, it just kind of puts everyone in a good mindset of what next year could be. I'm not expecting it to be like it was before this year, but if it just stabilizes and becomes predictable, I think that's really what people are hoping for.
You said two key words: is stabilizing and being predictable is huge. And then we've tried to, as a roaster, we've tried to absorb what we could. We didn't pass. We kind of forget. I don't know that we all remember back in July. We made a decision not to pass the tariffs along to the consumers. Although the importers passed the tariffs along to us.
Yeah.
We just decided let's hang on till the end of the year and make a decision there. And fortunately, we were able to absorb those tariffs for 6 months and not pass them along. It decreased our bottom line, but we felt.
And we did have to get a little creative a few times here and there because, we couldn't sell Sumatra anymore because that price was, or Brazil.
Our importers weren't bringing them in. Yeah, our importers stopped bringing in Brazil and Sumatra coffee.
Yeah, so we kind of just had to go along with we want to do right to our we don't want to just. It's crazy at this level, but we want to minimize that as much as we can to our customers.
Yeah, in hopes that in hopes of gaining trust and retaining them as a longer-term customer. Now, we didn't promote that we did that to any of our customers, but our customers are smart. They follow prices and they follow quality.
Yeah. And
that's what every retailer should do that owns a cafe.
Yeah. And you should definitely do your homework, but that's kind of, and when that's your market, you're a coffee shop, you need coffee. If everyone across the board is raising this price and you live in a small town where, I don't know, it's like, I think in a smaller town, people are comparing you to the gas station coffee because they're not, I don't know, you can kind of price yourself in a market.
Well, even in our market, people will come in and say, hey, man, can I have a cappuccino like the one I had at some C-store?
Yeah.
Well, we don't make it quite like that. We don't push a button.
Yeah. But just being able to be competitive and just staying in business. Some people this year that was the goal. Just stay in business, kind of let the tide go down. And I think this is good news.
Yeah, it is
for
great.
Those people.
It is great news, and just keeping your quality, just maintaining a high integrity on the quality on the product that you're bringing and sourcing in. That's going to be a formula for a win right there.
Yeah. Don't
compromise the quality of your product for a cheaper price. If you can get a cheaper price and maintain quality, go for it. But
anything else? Do you want to make any predictions for next year, or do you just kind of want to see what happens?
Yeah, prediction cheapers. Let's wait and see. There's always something exciting that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think for retail customers, I think they're going to get it's going to be nice because the prices, I don't see us, hopefully nothing squirrely goes around that we have to increase our prices. We haven't had a price increase in our business since, January, I think, of February of this year.
Yeah.
So, and I don't expect that with the way things look now, I don't see us raising our wholesale prices.
Yeah.
I don't see anything in immediate forecast of, say, 6 months that our prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
So that's good news.
It is good news.
It's based on the news that we hear today.
Yeah, based on this news. You never know. Who knows? But, yeah. I don't know. Anything else?
No, I think I'm excited. I'm excited for the end of the year.
Yeah, me too.
Our numbers, our personal numbers are up all the way across the board. Every area of our company. We don't have explosive growth, but we have maintained over 20 years constant and steady growth. You know, that makes me feel good as a business, part of a business, a family-owned business. And it makes me feel good that the employees that work here are in our company. They can see some stability, and they know that, you know, their jobs are secure. And it's a good feeling. You know, it's just you got to have certain anchors in your life that don't move.
Yeah.
You know, if your job's secure, you know, if you're eternally secure with your relationship with Jesus, that's huge.
It is.
You know, in regards to that, with your past forgiven and your present secured, you can't help but to think positively about your future.
Yeah.
Whether you live or die.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, from
100%.
the old man. From the old man.
Maybe you're a preacher in another life.
Please, you had to say that.
But yeah.
Back when I was a bumblebee?
Yeah. I think it's just, when you have that one thing, I mean, when you're, as a coffee shop owner, I think when you have just, I don't know, people quitting, people sick, people not showing up, you got your delivery route drivers. I mean, there's so many unpredictable things. So, like, if the coffee market can be one thing that you can kind of stabilize, I think it'll help everybody out.
Amen.
Yep. I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
We're done pulling shots?
I think we are.
Okay. Signing off from Pulling Shots.
Yeah. Thanks, Kurt.
How did we do, Kurt?